And maybe why you're struggling so hard to step into the next identity you want to get to is because you're not allowing your old identity to die. You're not allowing that old version of you, all the things that old version of you clings to, the thoughts it clings to, the emotions, the habits, the people, the patterns, the environments, not letting those go up in flames, feeling the grief, the agony, the pain, the loss of that, and letting yourself, giving yourself the foundation, the ashes from which the new you can grow out of. And that's where I feel like I'm at right now. With these diaries I'm doing daily, it's to really just document that process, that journey of death, settling, stillness, waiting, germinating, growth. And it's a painful, messy process because parts of you don't want to die. Parts of you don't want to let parts of you die. And when you try to let parts of yourself die, you don't know what's going to be on the other side. You don't know who you're going to become exactly. You don't know what's going to catch you as you're free falling. And there's a period in the middle there which is why I think a lot of people can't fully commit to this process, because there's a period in the middle where you have to be willing to be lesser than you've been. You have to be willing to be less confident, less energetic, less social, less presentable, less agreeable, less enjoyable to be around. You have to give yourself permission to become less than, maybe to become nothing. So then something can grow from that place. And this is the hardest part I struggle with, especially coming from high ticket coaching, where you have to show up as very confident and very certain about everything you're saying, and stepping away from that, coming to a place of uncertainty where there is a large part of me that really wants to present myself as confident at times. You know, when I'm making content like this, when I'm talking to people in my life, I've cut back on most of my coaching clients. Luckily, the few I'm working with, it's a pretty safe space to do that, but there's always a pull to try to come back to the level of confidence I know, but that level of confidence I know is attached to an identity I no longer want to be. So it's an awareness of recognizing that pull, recognizing where that pull is taking me, and then choosing in that moment whether I want to repeat more of the old or step into the new. And it's a daily process, it's a daily practice, it's a moment-to-moment practice. And I don't get it perfect. I definitely don't get it perfect, but I know where I'm intended to go, and navigating this path with compassion for where I'm actually at. I'm trying to not beat myself up in the moments where I do fake a little bit of confidence, where I do put on a little bit of a show and I perform a little bit. Recognizing that those moments are showing me where I'm ready to transform and where I'm not. Environments I'm ready to step back, to allow that part of me to die, and environments where I'm still not quite ready yet. And giving myself time and space and compassion to let myself go through this process and move through that in all environments. And I don't know exactly how to yet determine when this process is complete, if it completes. Maybe it's a slow transition rather than a quick fiery death and rebirth? I'm not sure. For me, it's been a mixture of both, honestly. There's been moments of very painful, sudden, quick deaths where I notice there's a part of me that has combusted, gone up in flames, and then a painful settling of quiet, and then it feels like over the next few days, a growth of something new. And it's just repeating this cycle, living through this cycle. And it's honestly been energizing. Though there have been painful moments, lonely nights, tears shed, emotions felt, questions that haven't got answered yet, sitting in a lot of uncertainty. At the end of the day, when I reflect back on these past few weeks of this transition so far, it's been energizing. I feel much more energized. I feel much more connected to myself. I feel much more connected to my path. And I sense that if I continue this journey, eventually I will get where I want to go. And maybe where I want to go is just more connected to myself. So this is the journey I'm on. If you're on a similar journey, I commend you, because I know it's not easy. And so don't worry if you're stuck in that messy middle. Remember that to successfully make the transition, to actually be able to step out of the old identity and into the new, you have to let it die. And to do that, you have to go through the phase of letting yourself be lesser than you have known, so that you can step into more of you on the other side in a way that feels how you want it to feel. Yeah. That's it. See you next time.